So take your time filtering in. I'll do singing bowl meditation today, and then we'll get going on some movement. We'll go to tabletop, child's pose first, and then tabletop after meditation, just so we know what's ahead of us in our practice. So welcome in, welcome yourself to your place, building that little yoga nest around you, creating a comfortable space where you feel safe, and be sure to do what feels right in your body today. And as you sit here, just sit back into your seat bones, kind of dig them in. You can even wiggle them around a little bit. See if you can really grow roots through the seat bones or the buttocks, if you will. And we'll lift the crown of the head a little bit higher. Take some really lovely, deep, and cleansing breaths in and out. To let it go, let the weight that you're carrying, let it go. Place it to the side for just a little bit. Let yourself be a little bit sleepy as we slow things down today. I'll ring my singing bowl. We'll do it like 5 times. So that will be our whole meditation. And just let yourself tune into the present moment as we proceed through our breath work. Just letting the breath flow, letting go of thoughts that are not useful. And we'll just listen in. Maybe there's a lovely breeze coming in through the window, enjoying that. Maybe there's sunlight dancing. Let the breath flow. Quiet the mind. Three more times, just tuning into the present as we hear the chime, following it as it slowly fades away. Big breath in, big breath out. 2 more. Last one. flow freely. Maybe we connect with the sensation of water throughout class today, thinking of the color of water, the shape of water, and maybe even focusing on our throat, not just because of what I mentioned earlier, but the singing bell is for our throat chakra, so maybe thinking of the color blue and focusing on our breath as it passes through the throat. And trying to be a little bit like water today. All right, then let's make our way into child's pose. A nice comfy child's pose. We'll start our class off with some awesome support from the floor. Knees nice and wide. Head supported by your hands or the floor. And letting the breath flow. Let the spine lengthen, let the hips and head get heavy. We'll hold for 3 more nice long breaths. Let's come up onto our elbows now. In child's pose on our elbows. And we'll just press our elbows down into the floor as we lift our heart space, drawing the chin slightly upwards. Keep that tailbone rooted if you can. And then we're going to take one arm and reach it up. It doesn't really matter which arm. I'm going left. Reach those fingertips high up. And then we're going to take that arm behind our back. See if we can work that hand behind the back. And take a big twist here. Feeling a nice big stretch through the left shoulder. Or, sorry, whichever arm you're working on. But keep pressing down with that arm that is supporting you on the floor. Okay, we'll come back to both elbows and drop it back. And we're just going to shrug our shoulders a few times, up and down, dropping the chest between the 2 upper arm bones. All right, and we'll do our other arm, whichever one that is. Reach it up really high by pressing down firmly with that other arm. Reaching up. You might notice a side stretch as well, which is an added bonus. And then we'll take that hand behind our back. Twisting through the upper back here. And getting really awesome support through the legs and the hips. And we'll slowly release back to both elbows on the floor in front of us. Let's shrug our shoulders a few more times. So we drop our chest between the humerus bones, just kind of chugging up and down. Awesome. All right, we're gonna come to tabletop from here. So let's push forward into a tabletop. We can walk those knees back and position ourselves so we feel really comfortable. And we can wiggle our hips a little bit, maybe make some circular motions around and around over the shoulders and the hips. This helps get our bones, the leg bones and the upper arm bones into those sockets really good. Kind of a massaging sensation we should feel, or we might be able to feel. All right, now we're gonna balance on our knees. So pick up your feet, balance on the knees, and see if you can create a really nice, strong core. Now we can stay here, and if you want to challenge yourself, we can add a little push-up, or just see if you can melt down through your heart and keep those arms nice and strong. It's working the core. And then if you would like, keep the elbows in and push up 1, 2, 3, maybe there's a 4 or 5 in your practice today. Feel those shoulder blades drawing together behind you. Awesome. All right, let's sink back into a child's pose. Wonderful. Take it down all the way to the floor. You can do knees together or apart. Okay, we're gonna come back to child's pose with our knees open and our elbows on the floor in front of us. Getting comfy. And we'll take one arm up, reach it up nice and high, get that big twist, and then we'll thread our needle, thread the needle. So the arm reaches underneath you and you're just gonna drop the shoulder. It's thread the needle in child's pose. So lots of support here. And just take it down and relax. Not much else to do. If you would like, you can interlace both your hands together and just work on pulling that arm that's underneath you, gently pulling it away from the midline. If you want, let the breath flow. We'll stay a little bit longer. All right, we'll unfurl, coming back to center, reaching the arm up once again if you would like, taking it down, and then going to the other side. Other arm up, reaches underneath you, drop the head, and you can interlace the fingers and work on pulling that arm a little bit further away from you. Let the breath flow. We'll stay for 3 more breaths. And we'll come out of it, reaching that other arm up one more time, back down to both elbows, and we'll reach both arms forward now for a big side stretch. Drop the head. Really feel an opening through the shoulders and the armpits. All right, and we'll come back to tabletop. We'll balance on our knees. We're going to do more push-ups. If you would like doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever floats your boat. But we'll try and do some push-ups. A little bit of strengthening today, nice and safe. And maybe we're just practicing keeping a nice flat core and a nice strong body, or not, or doing that push-up. Awesome. All right, let's give ourselves a break. Sometimes in order to stretch and relax our upper back and our muscles, we actually have to work them out just a little bit. Taking it down, whatever version of child's pose feels best for you. Big breath in and out. Let it go. All right, let's sit down. We'll walk our legs so that they're in front of us to sit down. Feet on the floor, knees up. And we're just gonna balance on our seat bones for a moment for boat pose. And you can keep your hands behind the thighs, or if you're looking for a challenge, you can do hands away. And as we do this, see if you can focus on pulling your shoulders back together and broadening the heart space, which makes it a little bit harder. Awesome. Okay, let's come back down to a seated position. We'll take our hands to our knees and let's do a few cat-cows. Seated cat-cows. Exhale, inhale. Stretch that belly open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhaling, dropping back. Inhaling, lifting forward. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Awesome job. Really lifting the chin and dropping it. All right, great. Let's come back to tabletop. Walking back to tabletop. Finding comfort here. We're going to extend our left leg back and just hover the foot. Extend that left leg back and then just lift the left leg as high as you can a few times. Maybe 4 or 5 times. 4, 5. And then hug your knee into your chest. We'll kind of try to kiss the knee. Probably won't happen. And we'll extend the left foot back and we'll do that 2 more times. Kiss the knee. Extend it back. Kiss the knee. Awesome. Back to tabletop. Great. Take a breath. We'll do that on the other leg. Extend your right leg back or whichever leg you didn't do. And we'll lift it up 4 or 5 times. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll kiss it 3 times. Hug and kiss. Hug and kiss, and then extend. Hug it in and extend. Great. Back to tabletop. Let's take a nice big downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, drop the head, and work it out, walk it out. Big breath in and out. Really try and press your shoulders towards the feet. Maybe lift up and down on the tippy toes. All right, and then let's take a child's pose. Let's give ourselves a break. Now we can take our hands towards the feet, which might feel really nice on our shoulders. Let it go. Let the breath flow. All right, let's come back into downward facing dog. Pressing the heels towards the floor, lifting that belly button up nice and high. And then we'll step forward to the front of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let it go. Let the head be heavy. Let the arms be heavy. You can grab opposite elbows if that's not too intense. And then we'll bend the knees, reach up, look up, big upward salute. Exhale the hands through to prayer, steady standing. So we're going to do just a practice of back bending at the front of your mat. So we'll inhale, reach up, look up, and we can interlace our fingers and make steeple fingers, pointer fingers pointed up. And we're just going to see if we can lean back and look up. So we're trying our best to do a bit of a back bend here. And reach those fingers. Awesome. And then we'll exhale the hands through to prayer. Steady standing. And we'll try that a few times. Inhale, reach up, look up. Interlace, point, and lean back. Exhale the hands through to prayer. Again, inhale, reach up. Interlace, exhale. Inhale, lift and look back. Exhale the hands through to prayer. Awesome, that'll be our last one. And then just stand nice and really tall here. See if you can pull those shoulders down the back, palms open, belly back. And we're just going to take our head from side to side, kind of tick-tocking, rolling it around, going either which way, just feeling some fluid motion through the neck. Nice strong upper back though, strong legs. All right, back to neutral. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, touch the toes or reach for the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, step back, downward facing dog. We'll hold down dog for a moment. Big breath in and out. And then we'll inhale, high plank pose. That's the top of a push-up. Exhale, slowly lower, hit the deck. So come down to your belly. All the way down. We can take our hands towards the feet. Let's take a moment to relax on our belly. Feel the support of the floor. Maybe open and close the fingers a few times. Okay, take your other cheek to the floor. So we're stretching out both sides of our neck. And then we'll take our hands underneath the shoulders, right? Underneath those shoulders and push the floor away. Lift our heart up for cobra pose. Really press the feet down into the floor. Big breath in and out. And then come back down. Take your hands back towards the feet. Take a cheek. Take your other cheek. And then we're going to take our hands back to the floor. They're going to be nice and wide this time. So take your fingertips to beyond the space of your shoulder, more like underneath the elbow. And lift those elbows up. Lift your head up off the floor. Press your feet down. Now we're on our fingertips like there's a grapefruit underneath our hand or something. And we're just going to lift ourselves up onto those fingertips. And then we're going to take one shoulder towards the midline, pressing it forward, and look over the opposite shoulder. And then we're going to kind of twist the other way. Drop that other shoulder, gaze over the opposite way, and just maybe alternate a few times here. If it hurts the finger pads, the knuckles, you can just come down to the palms of the hands. That's also totally fine. And we'll just do a little bit of twisting. Big exhale. All right, and then come all the way back down to the floor when you've had your fill. Take your hands towards your feet. Take your other cheek to the floor. And then we're going to take our forehead to the floor. Forehead to the floor. Work those toes together. The knees touch, the feet touch. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. On a big inhale, see if we can lift up the whole body and lift the hands up and away as well. And we'll hold for 3, 2, big inhale. Exhale, let it go. 1, awesome job. We deserve a break. Take a cheek. Don't forget, we'll take the other cheek in a moment. Maybe rotate the wrists a little bit, open and closing the fingers. And the other cheek. Okay, let's take a child's pose. Press yourself back into your favorite version of child's pose. I usually have my knees together after I've been on my belly. That usually feels really good on my low back. A few more breaths. Okay, let's sit back on those heels for hero's pose. Sit back on the heels. Lift the heart nice and high. And we're just going to shrug our shoulders a few times. Forward. And then backward. Awesome. And then we're going to take our hands to grab our shoulders and just draw big circles with the elbows. Forward and back. And then back and then forward. I'm hearing lots of noise. That's totally normal. Awesome. And then we'll take our hands down. Rotate the wrists like you're painting circles on the floor. And then we're going to interlace our fingers in front of us. Press the palms away from you as you straighten our elbows. So we're stretching out the back of the wrists. Awesome. And then we'll see if we can take our palms up. See if you can maintain a long neck. We'll hold for 3, 2, a little bit higher. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Awesome job. Beautiful. All right, let's take a break in child's pose, and then we'll go to down dog and do one of the more challenging poses that we'll do today. So we'll mentally prepare for that. Take it down, give ourselves a little bit of energy here. Okay, so when you're ready, we'll come to downward facing dog. Lifting those hips up and back. And in down dog, make sure you're nice and comfortable, you feel nice and supported. We're gonna try our best to grab our ankle with our opposite hand. So my right hand is gonna reach underneath me to grab the outside of my left calf or ankle. And it's a really big upper back twist, a shoulder twist. Hopefully we feel warmed up to do this. Take a few deep breaths. Awesome. And then come back to downward facing dog when you're ready. Try to maintain some good control here. All right, other side. My left hand's gonna reach underneath me to grab the outside of the right ankle or calf. Gaze under that shoulder, the opposite armpit. All right, back to down dog with some control. Big breath in and out. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, slowly lower, hit the deck. Let go, hands towards the feet. So let's take a cheek. Let the breath flow. And then take your other cheek. Let's come onto our elbows for Sphinx pose, pressing down to both feet. Similar to what we did at the beginning of class in child's pose, but feeling the upper arm bone being pressed up into the socket, but pull the shoulders down away from the ears. So there's this constant lifting and lengthening. We'll hold Sphinx for a few breaths. See if you can feel your belly press into the floor on the inhale, and then lift back on the exhale. It may feel good for some of us to create some movement in the head. If you want to drop the chin and then lift it up again, but doing what feels right for you. Maybe taking the ear from side to side. I got a nice big crack out. That felt good. But listening to your body, letting your body guide you. It'll tell you what it wants. It'll tell you what feels safe and useful. You just have to listen. Okay, we'll take our hands underneath the shoulders to push ourselves up into a tabletop. So just lifting ourselves back up into a tabletop. Find a really neutral spine here. Nice strong arms. See if you can rotate the inner elbow towards the fingertips to point forward. Chin lifts up towards the ceiling through the lifting it towards the throat, if that makes sense. So rather than this, we're doing a tucking of the chin, lifting it back. Awesome. All right, let's do a true thread the needle. So inhale, reach the arm up really high. Exhale, drop the shoulder down, cheek down. We'll take a true thread the needle. If you would like, you can take your hand behind your back. Or you can keep your hand on the floor, or you could use that interlacing of both hands trick that we did earlier. Big breath in and out. Okay, inhale, come out of it, reach that arm back up, lift the belly, and then we'll take it back to tabletop, other side, reach up, look up. Exhale, we'll thread the needle, taking a cheek, and you can interlace the fingers. You can take the hand behind the back, whatever feels good, whatever floats your boat. Let yourself melt into that shoulder. All right, hand down, presses down, inhale, reach up, and back to tabletop. Great. Take one last moment in tabletop here, lifting the belly, drawing the chin up towards the throat. Okay, and then we're just gonna walk our feet in front of us and sit down. So you may want to sit down on blankets here. We're gonna do a few seated postures, but we'll sit down first and get really comfy. Let's find a strong spine. Back up a little bit. Rooting down through those seat bones, lifting the heart. All right, let's extend both legs out in front of us. And see if you can get comfy in this pose, this Dandasana, which I think can be pretty challenging for our core. It's really connecting with that core strength and seeing if we can support ourselves internally. And we're going to draw one knee up and in. Draw one knee up and in. Hug that shin towards you as you lift the heart up. And then we're going to pick up our foot with the same hand. You can take your opposite hand to the floor for support. And we're just going to pick that foot up, and you can take the arm inside the leg. You can grab the outside or the inside. I do recommend grabbing the outside of the foot. And then we're just going to swing our foot from side to side like you're opening a door. And we want to be really careful that we're keeping the shoulder towards the chest. So we're hugging that shoulder in towards the body, and we're not getting carried away. We're not letting that leg overpower our arm. We'll just kind of massage both hip and shoulder here. And then we'll take that foot to the outside of the left leg, the long leg. Hug that knee towards you. We can do a twist here. If you would like, you can bring this bottom leg and tuck it up underneath you, or you can keep it straight. And we're going to twist towards the lifted knee. Taking your hand or your elbow to the outside of it, or simply hugging it in towards the body, gazing over the shoulder. And we'll inhale back to center. Twist the other way. Inhale back to center. All right, and we'll extend both legs back out. We can take our hands behind us and just kind of pad the backs of the knees on the floor. Rotate those ankles around a few times, wiggle the toes. Maybe getting some cracks out. All right, and then we'll find Dandasana once again. Lifted heart. And then we'll hug our other leg up and in, our left leg, if we're on the same leg. We'll lift that heart. Get strength through both hips. And then we'll pick up our foot with our same hand, and we can take the elbow to the outside of that shoulder. I'm sorry, the knee to the outside of the shoulder. And we'll just swing that leg back and forth. Keep that arm nice and strong. Awesome job. All right, and then we'll take that foot to the outside of our long leg. Hug the knee up and in. Yogi's choice, straight leg or bent leg. And we don't want to be sitting on the foot at all, so we want both hips firmly rooted on the floor. And we'll twist towards the lifted knee. You can take your elbow to the outside of the knee, or you can hug that leg in gently. And inhale to center. Take a twist the other way. And inhale to center. Awesome. Extend your legs out in front of you. Really reach them long. Gently bend the knees, shaking the knees. And we'll take our hands behind us. Fingertips point towards us. We're going to lift and hover our hips up off the floor for reverse table or crab, if you will. And just kind of taking it however feels safest to you. Chin can lift. You can try and get a flat body or just find that sweet spot that works in the shoulders. Awesome, and then we'll exhale, take it down, and let's take it all the way to the floor. We're gonna rest. We'll do some reclining postures, so get comfy. You can have a blanket under your head as a pillow, and we'll just take it all the way down. Let go, let go, let go. We'll melt into slow motion, slow-mo. Notice how the floor is supporting our chest and our breath here. Breathe into it. You can have feet on the floor or legs straight, whatever's feeling good in the back today. We'll get comfy on the floor first before we find a reclining posture. All right, so we're actually gonna do some snowman, angel arms, whatever, with our arms. What do they call it? Snow angels. Where we're just gonna reach our arms up and then down like we're making a snow angel. However, see if you can feel that opening happening through the shoulder joints and behind the shoulder blades. So see if you can sense the shoulder blades on the floor. And then as the arms float down, see if you can let them get nice and heavy and really rest on the floor. So it is a therapeutic exercise. It's not just fun. See if we can really sense that opening up take place. If you want, you can interlace your fingers when they're above the head and kind of punch your hands away from the top of the crown of the head. So there's a reaching and a pulling of the arms, and notice that really awesome stretch through the shoulder blades and even the side body, the armpit. So reach up, maybe interlace those fingers, point the pointer fingers and reach, and then let them slide back down. And we'll just do that a few more times. Snow angels. You may hear some noises, and that's totally okay. Noises in the connective tissue, that is, the muscles, moving the cartilage around a little bit. Let's do one more good one. Awesome. Exhale, release, and let your arms be really super duper heavy alongside the body. Take a few deep breaths here, feeling that exercise kind of reverberate through the body. Notice the sensation after. Let the fingers and palms of the hand really relax. All right, we'll hug both knees into our chest now. Give them a really good squeeze. Rock from side to side. Work out all those muscles in the back, giving them a good massage on the firm floor. All right, and then we're going to take happy baby. So grabbing the outside edges of the feet, we'll pull those knees towards the floor alongside the body. And once again, just really keep those shoulders rooted in towards the body and towards the floor. It may feel good for us to rock a little bit. All right, and then we'll come all the way back down, feet to the floor, hands on the belly. Let's take a moment to feel that out. Take breath in and out. Okay, so last pose of the day, we'll try snail pose. If you want to opt out of snail pose, you can do supported bridge by placing something under your low back, like a big book or something. And if you are doing snail pose with me, we may want to sit up and create a little bit of cushion behind us. So I'm going to use a blanket, and that's going to protect our throat, the back of our neck, which is really important. And if you sit up, you might be able to get some momentum. So you're simply going to rock back and lift your hips up and balance on your shoulders. So it's a lift and a rock. And you can take your hands to your low back here. You can let the legs kind of hover over the forehead and just hang out, trying to get comfy. And just doing what works for you. Some of us may be able to experiment taking both of our feet to the floor, but that might be challenging, so I wouldn't focus on it if it's not feeling right today. But just hanging out. Let the breath flow. You're going to feel a lot of restriction through the belly for your breath. That's normal. See if you can breathe full and deep anyway. So your breath is going to be sent to other areas of the body, probably the chest, the low back, the mid back. See if you can expand with your breath despite this deep crease and fold. We'll stay a little bit longer. Of course, whenever you're ready to come down, just come on down. It's just a very slow roll down. And whenever you're ready, just slowly roll as best you can. Take the hips down. Ooh, feet to the floor, knees up. Let out a nice big sigh. And we'll drop our knees from left to right a few times. Just rocking back and forth. And if there's any last minute poses you want to take before we enter Shavasana, now's the time. You just want to take a moment here to get set up and get comfortable, be my guest. But we'll take Shavasana, corpse pose. So you might feel a little bit of discomfort through the spine after doing snail. And if you are feeling that way, put your feet on the floor, keep the knees up for a little bit of time here. You can also hug your knees into your chest, but that's totally normal. We just lengthened the spine. And I should have mentioned before we did snail, but you just, moving forward, you really want to keep your chin neutral in snail. So you don't want to turn and look in either direction, but we keep a nice neutral chin when we're balancing on our neck. But make yourself at home in Shavasana, corpse pose. Pillows, blankets, whatever you need. I'm going to step off frame for just a moment, but I will be right back and I will guide us through an amazing Shavasana. We might have time for sort of a modified Yoga Nidra. However you find yourself, let yourself become increasingly heavier. Let yourself be totally supported. Notice where your body, where your skin is touching the floor. And see if you can get heavier in those places and melt a little bit more in those places. And then notice where your skin is touching the air. And let your body get light and soft and airy and weightless in those places. Relax the fingers and the toes, the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. Relax the heels of the feet, the back of the calves, the back of the knees, the back of the thighs, your hips. Relax your low back and your upper back, your shoulders. And relax down the backs of the arms, the upper arm, the elbow, the lower arm, the back of the hands. Relax the back of your throat and your neck. Relax the back of your head. Now relax the top of the head and your forehead. Relax your eyebrows, your eyelids, your eyeballs, your cheeks. Relax your nose, your upper lip and your bottom lip, your chin. Relax both ears. Relax the skin of your face. Relax the front of your throat, your chest, both shoulders. Relax down the fronts of the arms, the upper arm bone, the elbow, the lower arm, the palm of the hands, the fingers. Relax your lungs and your belly. Relax your pelvis, your hips, your waist. Relax the front of the thighs, the top of the knees, your shins, your ankles, and the tops of your feet and your toes. Relax the entire back body, the whole of the back body, and relax the whole of the front body. Relax the entire body, the whole body, the body as one. I'll close class how I started with the singing bowl. Feel free to remain as you are. However, you are invited to sit upright at this point if you would like to slowly wake yourself up and sit up. And that's totally up to you, of course. And as we close out, we'll notice the singing of the bowl. Maybe we return back to imagining the color of water, the sensation of water, maybe even the smell of water, and maybe focusing on our throat, the color blue. And we'll listen in. I'll ring the chime 3 times. Bowing our heads in gratitude. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day and week.